Well, it's good that we're able to get outside and the weather's been good. So just getting excited. It's getting past. It's inside 2 weeks for nerves, a little bit nervous and everything, and the guys are starting to feel a little bit. So it's good to get outside to knock a little bit of that stuff off. But we're ready. We're getting ready more and more each day, ready to go for the season. Well, I think they're tough guys. We've got some hard-nosed guys that love to play the game. Very, very good teammates is the biggest thing. I like this group. They like each other, and it seems like they really care about each other, and they work really, really hard for each other. Well, you always start with pitching. Of course, we got Connor Gilmore, who's been our Friday night guy last year and a big part of our program for the last 2 years, and he'll lead the way again this year on Friday night. And Chris Cottle, who was a weekend starter last year, and then will be a big on the mound for us again. And also we've got Andrew Kimmer, okay, and Brandon Hagla, and those guys are going to be a big part of our weekend rotation. They're all fighting for that spot right there. And then we got some other guys, Dylan Dravel, who's a freshman, but doing really, really well for us. So we look, and then the guy that's really jumped his pitched well for us last year in relief, but it'll work in the starting rotation, fighting for that spot, and done a great job so far this year is Josh Markle. I think we have more depth this year. What we got to do is figure out where they fit, and that takes time. And just working those guys in. Are they starters? Are they middle relief guys? Are they back end guys? So we're looking at that as far as just trying to get the pieces right and everything like that. So, Connor McLean, that was a big loss for us, and he's out for the year with Tommy John surgery. And so, he'd been a back end guy for us probably. And so, we're just looking to fill those pieces, and that'll just take a little bit of time, and it'll take a little bit of going through the season to figure all that out. We got, of course, Charles Deckard behind the plate, and him and Travis Hull probably split time. And behind the plate, we feel really good about our depth there. It looks like Nate Farrell will be at third base for us if we start today. Logan Preston, he'll be our starting shortstop. Chris Townsend, who's been there for the last 2 years, at second base. And then at first base, that's still wide open. We're still taking a look at some different things. As far as personnel there, Jacob Richardson is a freshman from Woodlawn. He's fitting in that mix right there. And then so Corey Herndon, also a freshman. Those guys are battling things out there. Then in the outfield, Wesley Hoover in left. He'd be our starting left fielder today. Center fielder Tyler Langley, kind of familiar names out there. And then right field, that's kind of open. Travis Abel's working hard right there, and he's been with us, but he didn't start last year. Redshirted last year, so. That kind of rounds it out as far as those guys. But we have some good depth there also, and guys fighting for a spot there. And I feel like we're too deep as far as everywhere on the infield and the outfield. So that's good. They're still fighting, and there's still some determination to go on. We have a lot of left-handed hitters, a lot of right-handed hitters. Matt Anderson can fill in at second, a left-handed hitter, if we face a good right-handed pitcher and different things like that. So we got some options, that's for sure. Like I said, our biggest challenge is finding out who fits and what place and what order of the lineup and everything like that. And I don't think we'll have those answers. Not the first day for sure. Last year, I'll say this, I was very proud of our guys. We had a lot of injuries and battled a lot of adversity, and those guys came through and won 9 out of 10. So we had some tough guys, and that was led by Bryce Biggerstaff. And you always want your toughest guy. You want tough guys everywhere, but you definitely got to have them on the mound. And so the makeup's very similar. There's no question we got that same type of. That's kind of our MMO. We got that same type of team, tough, hard-nosed guys that love playing baseball.
Have an advantage.
I think the strength that we're pretty balanced. There ain't any one area there's just unbelievable talent we're great at, but we're good at everything. And of course, to be successful, it always starts with pitching. So our pitching is going to have to be good, and we're going to have, like I said, our most competitive players. They got to be on that mound, and they got to get out there and compete and throw. Just attack the hitters and come after them, and like I said, and when pitching's good, defense is good. And then what we have to do is just be good on offense, get our bunts down, do different things like that, play that kind of baseball, and be great on the bases. And but it always starts on the pitching, because pitching's good, defense is good. And I always said there's 4 parts of winning championships, and that's pitching, defense, timely hitting, great base running. And you want those first two, you have those two, you have a chance. And maybe they got it just right now, where, it was with the real hot bats, and they went to the BB core. That was a big change. That changed the game dramatically, and maybe they found the happy medium with the ball. We'll see. Yeah. We'll just have to wait and see on that. It's made a little bit of difference. You're probably going to, everybody's probably going to see a few more home runs hit this year. I don't know how big an impact it is, but there is definitely a difference when they square one up. Ball seems to jump a little bit better, go a little bit further when they hit it pretty good. So it hadn't been that big of a change for our pitchers. So, they still breaking balls still, it's lowered a little bit. It's not exactly like a major league ball, but so it's not that tight. So there hasn't been a big difference with the pitchers, but you can tell if it is hit really well, there is a little bit of difference. Non-conference, tough schedule again. We'll play Wichita State and Ole Miss and Missouri and play Oklahoma State. Big 12 SEC teams in non-conference. Of course, the in-state rivalry with ULR and Arkansas State and then UAPB. We'll play those guys home and home, and we look forward to that for sure. But another really, really tough non-conference schedule. And we do that. We want to play the best teams we possibly can play and prepare ourselves for conference. Conference is really tough year in, year out, and we need to be seasoned a little bit before we get in there. We're always looking to improve. There's no question about that, and trying to improve the level of talent. I think we're working hard on that. But we have a certain system that we try to follow with the type of player that we recruit to the style of game that we play, and we're comfortable with it, but not so comfortable that we're always looking for new ways, and really we're always looking for new ways to help each individual player get better. And whether it's strength or speed or anything like that, if we can do that collectively, if all of them get a little better as an athlete or as a player and a better mindset, then as a team, as a unit, we get a lot better.